Hello, everyone, and welcome to week two. This week we're covering how to hire. So, there's a lot of information in the text that covers the technical aspects of it, such as writing job descriptions and evaluating candidates. I want to touch really quickly on a point that's not addressed in the text as well. It's that the importance of the hiring process itself. Um, One of the recommended texts that I put in the syllabus is Good to Great by Jim Collins. He has a great metaphor explaining the importance of the hiring process, and he uses a bus as the vehicle to show the importance. He calls it getting the right people on the bus. Before the bus ever moves, you have to know where the bus is going. But before the bus can be directed where it needs to go, it has to have the right people on the bus because even the best leader in one situation can't impact a situation that they're not prepared for. You couldn't take a leader from a high end technical business and put them into a nonprofit and expect them to flourish because he may not have the skill set or the available resources or the mindset to be successful in that situation. Leaders are not interchangeable because of that. So, Jim Collins puts it in the regard of the bus by saying you have to get the right people on the bus in order for the bus to be effective once it gets where it's going. So, getting the bus where it's going is kind of a secondary thing there. Now, getting the right people on the bus is easy to do when you think about a term called value congruence. And we all actually do this unconsciously in the hiring process. We tend to ask questions about your values and your work ethic and your experience. And what we're really trying to do is decide whether or not you're a good fit for our organization. Now, we tend to look at experience and qualifications and overlook values. Now, every company, every organization tends to have core values or a mission statement or something that delineates what that organization is there for, what it's trying to accomplish, and how. So, the mission and vision and values tell us what the company or the organization feels. Now, that's a representation of its demographics that it represents, if it's a public organization or its constituency or whatever you may call it. But the values directly relate to who they're serving. Now, the people that we choose to employ in our organizations should in turn represent those values. We can't expect somebody who has different values to steadfastly have the same values as our organization to do the same output that somebody who does. So, put another way, if the values of the individual are the same as the values of the organization, then there won't be any conscious thought in the work process about whether or not what I'm doing is good for the organization. So that term is called value congruence. And it's important because it takes all the rational thought out of the motivational and work ethic process. When you have people whose values are the same as the organization on the front end, you have much less work to do to get them to be high performing individuals later because they already feel the way that the organization wants them to feel. So, again, this is a concept that's related heavily in Good to Great by Jim Collins. And there's a supplement to that he wrote a few years after the original book called Good to Great in the social sectors, which I've also put on the reading list. It's a great option to take the lessons that are learned from private businesses and change the capital. If you read it, you'll notice there are a couple of different threads that he follows, and one is called the hedgehog concept. It's everything that the business is about, focusing on it. Now, profit is a key thing in the private business. That's not the same in the public sector, and so that's one thing that the social sciences sector or the social sciences supplement that Collins wrote later addresses. And so it's applying the same principles only to the social sector. It's a great read, and I suggest you check it out. Otherwise, have a great week, and I will see you next week for our live video call.